So the National Union of Mine Workers says it's shocked by the Reserve Bank's decision to place microlender Ubank under curatorship. The central bank says this is mainly due to the bank's failure to maintain adequate capital levels. KPMG has now been appointed as the curator. The microlender is owned by Diba Fund Trust and administered by the NUM and the Minerals Council of South Africa. Let's get you more reaction on this now. Bring in the NUM's General Secretary, William Mabapa, who joins us via our video link this morning. William, it's great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for making time. Perhaps as a start, tell us why you're shocked by this decision.
Yeah, no, we are shocked by the decision and surprised because on Sunday afternoon, the Prudential Authority invited us to a meeting. And in that meeting, as the board of the Teba Bank that owns the Ubank, we were then informed that in order for us to meet the minimum requirements of the car, we must raise 800 million. That was from the background that on Friday, there was a bidding where one of the bidders was bidding with 500 million, and our understanding was that the bidding was 300 million, but he then put 500 million. And on Sunday, they said they want 800 million that we must raise within 24 hours. We went to the very same bidder who was bidding with 500 million, and then he agreed that he will then put 800 and is even prepared to put 1 billion. And after our meeting with the PA met with the very same investor, and that investor confirmed that yes, he will then put that 800. Then our understanding was that on Monday, we called a board where we were to finalize resolutions on the matter. But to our surprise, we started to observe that there are press conference called and all this about the very same matter that we thought that by Sunday it has been resolved because the money that they requested us to raise and for us to meet the minimum requirement of the bank was confirmed raised. And then, so that is where we then get surprised and shocked that what was the purpose of us being called to a meeting to be informed that we must raise 800, and then when that 800 is raised, a particular decision is taken.
That's interesting. So at the end of that meeting, did the Prudential Authority give you an unequivocal assurance that the 800 million rand being raised in 24 hours is all you need to save the microlender from curatorship?
It is not only the Prudential Authority, even the minister who wrote us a letter also confirmed. I personally phoned him. The chairperson of the trust, Comrade Joseph Muntise, he phoned him. And that is what he also confirmed, the minister. That is why we are saying we are surprised and shocked, because that is what we have been confirmed with us, that if we raise the 800 million and meet the minimum requirements, and then there is no issue. What is even surprising, when the Prudential Authority met with this investor, they even gave them a deadline of Tuesday, even though we told them that they must then meet the deadline of Monday, because from us, yes, the confirmation was within 24 hours from Sunday.
Right.
But if we are informed to something on Sunday in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, probably we'll wait for that time to make that 24 hours. But the decision, as you observe, it was even taken before that.
Sure. The reason why I'm asking that clarity question, William, was because in that briefing yesterday, we were told that sufficient capital is just one of the reasons why this microlender has been placed under curatorship. There were also internal control weaknesses and corporate governance concerns. Were you hearing about those issues for the first time in the media briefing yesterday?
I think, let me start by saying, the challenges did not yet start yesterday. The challenge was there even from 2015. At a particular time, the Prudential Authority involving SARB requested the bank, because there is a board of Ubank. We are on the board of the trust. Requested the board of the Ubank to give them a presentation as to how the bank will then work. But the main issue that we understand, was to meet the minimum requirements. That is why ours was then to make sure that we first meet the minimum requirements. Part of the minimum requirements that we were to meet, we were to then also match the bank with the Grow Bank, which was bought by Access Bank. So automatically when we match the two, the issue of management were also to be resolved, because if you then match the two banks, probably the other bank has got CEO, they've got systems, they've got other management. So that matter was to be resolved with the approach that was then developed to raise the 800 million and with a purpose to match. The same as was the other proposal that was for African Bank. But in our view, we need to call a spade a spade. You must know, SARB, the Reserve Bank has got 50% shares in African Bank. Truly speaking, our observation is that they expected us to choose African Bank. But the dilemma was, African Bank was pledging 100 million. That was to be far to reach that car at that stage, if we were to then take the African Bank. But to us, we foresee a situation where they were angry because there were two bidders. The other one came with 500 million. African Bank came with 100 million, and they were to take the bank 100%. Then when we said no, the best bidder is this other one, the Access Bank with 500 million, who were prepared to even put 800 million. We think that is an area where they became angry. Because if, in our view, they wanted African Bank just to take this bank for free.
That's a very serious allegation, William, that you're making against the Reserve Bank. Are you suggesting that the curatorship of Ubank is in retaliation from the South African Reserve Bank because of the bidder you decided to go with in order to help it, I guess, get the capital that they need? In other words, are you saying that Ubank should not be placed under curatorship as far as you're concerned?
Our view is that you can't put a bank on the curatorship when you then say to us, raise 800 million and meet the minimum requirements. Then you raise that 800 million to meet the minimum requirements. But even when that is done, you still put us under curatorship. What was the purpose? Because I can ask a $1 million question. We were called on Sunday urgently to have a meeting, and in that meeting we were told that we must raise 800. The very same, you can also ask Access Bank, because they had a meeting immediately after us to confirm if they can also, indeed, they will then put the 800 million. And they confirmed that, yes, we can even put a 1 billion if that is the need. Now, all of a sudden, then you put the bank on curatorship. In the morning, you started to call for press conference.
Yeah, but I'm asking...
We started to see the issue of the press conference in the morning.
And you're saying this is because the South African Reserve Bank has sour grapes. That's why. That's what you're suggesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Our worry is that if it was about other issues that were there before, one believes that it was an issue where we had to be informed on Monday that, look, we have took a decision. By Monday, we are going to pronounce our decision. Not to tell us that raise 800 million, and then if you raise 800 million, the matter is closed. So if the matter was then to be closed, why were we called on Sunday to raise 800 million?
Sure. So to be clear, you found out about this curatorship through the media?
The issue of the curatorship, we were informed on Sunday to say raise 800 million.
Yes.
If you don't raise 800 million, we will put the bank on curatorship on Sunday.
And my question is, the decision to put it under curatorship as an official stance, you found that out through the media. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. We know that
we were never called to any meeting to say, did you raise 800? Because if you don't, we are putting it under curatorship. No. On Monday, we saw media invitations, and then at a later stage, we then received a letter. When we received the letter, the media was even already, press conferences were already called.
Sure. Ubank obviously has quite tight links with mining companies, or with mine workers, I should say, actually, with mine workers, not the companies. Since the 1970s, Ubank has been providing a lot of workers in mines with basic financial services because the mine workers themselves had somewhat been neglected by mainstream financial institutions. How has this landed with the mine workers?
I'm sure this one will pain them because, truly speaking, if you had partnership with an institution of this nature for the rest of your life, and then you observe these things, really you'll be at pains. And to us, we strongly believe that this was the only bank linked to workers. And that is why we are saying we're shocked, because we thought that that will then be taken into account. We don't dispute the fact that, yes, there were challenges, but we strongly believe that some of those challenges that involved the issue of the car was addressed. To our knowledge, that was addressed. As early as Sunday, there was a confirmation that 800 million will be put on the account, and the issue of the management was to be resolved because that was to then match the investor, because the investor by his own right is a banker also. It's not like we're to say some of those issues were still to be problems, because the investor is a banker.
All right.
So that means automatically we're to meet the minimum requirement of the car, because the investor was a bank which doesn't have a problem of a car and a management.
All right. William Mabapa, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Appreciate your time. William is the General Secretary of the NUM.